Namaste. We have studied the one part of the circulatory system, that is about the blood. The types of blood cells, that is RBCs, WBCs and platelets, we have studied. And another main part of the circulatory system is the heart. Heart is an important organ. It helps for the pumping of the blood to the whole part of the body. So it does not take any rest, especially heart will not take any rest for its function or for its working. So heart is very important for all the living organisms. Today we are going to study about the main structure of the hearts and what are the chambers are there and which are the blood vessels will entering, which are the blood vessels leaving from the heart. About that we are going to study in today's class. First, location of heart. The heart is right in the center between the two lungs and above the diaphragm. The narrow end of the roughly triangular heart is pointed to the left side, and during working, the contraction of the heart is most powerful at this end, giving a feeling that the heart is on the left side. Here heart is not in the left side. Heart is present in the center between the two lungs above the diaphragm, but its a narrow end, it is in triangular shape. It is pointed to the left side. While working of the heart, the left side it will contract more because it has to pump the blood. So when it undergo the against the gravity, it has to pump the blood. So when it undergo the contraction, we are feeling that it is in the left side, but it is not in the left side. Next, covering of heart. The heart is protected by a double-walled membranous covering called pericardium. It contains lubricating fluid that is called pericardial fluid. This pericardial fluid reduces friction during heartbeat and protects it from mechanical injuries. Heart is covered by a two layer. The two layers are together is called pericardium, and in between the two layer we can see a fluid. That fluid is called pericardial fluid. This pericardial fluid it reduces the friction between the two layer during the heartbeat, and also it protect it from the mechanical injuries. Next, size of the heart. Size of heart. The heart in adult humans is about the size of our closed fist, nearly 12 centimeter in length and 9 centimeter in width. So human heart is the size of our closed fist. Chambers of the heart. The heart consists of four chambers. Two upper, it is called atria, and two lower, it's called as a ventricles. Atria is also called as a atrium. Here, the atria have thinner walls because their major function is to receive blood from the body and pump it into the very next ventricles. Here atria or auricles are having a thin walls because it has to receive the blood and then it can pump that blood into the next region, that is ventricles. No need to produce more pressure to pump the blood. The ventricles have thick muscular walls because they have to pump blood to long distance. Here ventricle they have to pump the blood to the very long distance. The right ventricle pumps blood only up to the lungs for oxygenation, but the left ventricle pumps it up to the farthest points in the body, such as up to the toes in the feet or up to the brain against gravity, and so its walls are thicker. Here ventricle having thick muscular walls because here right ventricle it has to pump the blood to the lungs because for the oxygenation, and the left ventricle it has to pump the blood to the whole part of the body. Here both the ventricle they have to pump the blood against the gravity. When they pump the blood against the gravity, they will produce more pressure. For that pressure, wall may breaks up. For that purpose, ventricles are having thick muscular walls because they will pump the blood against the gravity. That's why they are having a thick muscular walls. Here, left ventricle having a little bit thick muscular wall when compared to right ventricle, because the right ventricle, it pumps the blood to the lungs region only, but left ventricle, it has to pump the blood to the toes region as well as to the brain region. So that's why it has to pump the blood to the whole part of the body. That's why it has a little bit thick muscular wall. Next, blood vessels entering and leaving the heart. First we can focus blood vessels entering the heart. The right atrium receives two large vessels, that is anterior vena cava and posterior vena cava. The first, anterior vena cava. It is also called a superior vena cava or precaval. It brings deoxygenated blood from the anterior or upper regions of the body, including head, chest and arms. Your anterior vena cava, it receives the deoxygenated blood from head region, chest region, arms region. Then it pumps that deoxygenated blood into the right atrium or right auricle. Next, posterior or inferior vena cava. It brings blood from the posterior or the lower region of the body, including abdomen and lungs. Here, posterior means inferior. It also carries the deoxygenated blood from abdomen region as well as the legs region, and it pumps that deoxygenated blood into the right auricle or atrium. So next one is pulmonary vein. The pulmonary vein, it receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs, and it pumps that oxygenated blood from lungs into the left auricle or left atrium. That is a pulmonary vein. Here vein carries the oxygenated blood. It carries that oxygenated blood from the lungs, and it pumps that oxygenated blood into the left atrium. Next, blood vessels leaving the heart. Pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery arises from the right ventricle and carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. Here, pulmonary artery, it carries the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle and pump that blood into the lungs for the purification or for the oxygenation. Next, aorta. Aorta arises from the left ventricle and carries oxygenated blood to supply it to all parts of the body. Aorta, it is the largest artery in the human body. So it carries the oxygenated blood from the left ventricle and pump that oxygenated blood to the whole part of the body. Here aorta having a different branches. Through that branches, the oxygenated blood is circulated in the whole body. Next, coronary arteries. Here two coronary arteries arising from the base of the aorta. These supply blood to the heart muscles. Coronary artery, it arises from the base of the aorta and supply the oxygenated blood to the heart muscles itself. When there is a blockage in any coronary artery or in any one or more of their branches, there is a deadening of the corresponding area of the heart muscles, leading to myocardial infarction. Here, sometimes insufficient supply of the oxygenated blood takes place for the heart muscles. Heart contains a muscle that is called as a cardiac muscle. So if the muscle receive the insufficient oxygenated blood, so in that area the deadening of the muscles takes place, and it leads to the myocardial infarction, or it is called as heart attack. The coronary veins collect blood from heart walls and pour it into the right auricles. Here coronary veins carries the blood from the heart walls, that is especially deoxygenated blood, and pour that blood into the right auricle. Here sometimes chest pain will cause, that chest pain is called as angina pectoris. This chest pain is due to the insufficient supply of blood to the heart muscles. Insufficient supply of the blood takes place to the heart muscles. At that time chest pain takes place, so that we call as an angina pectoris. Now you can see external structure of the heart. So here you can see the base is pointed triangular in shape, and we can see the different parts of the heart. This is the external structure of heart. How we are having a door in our home, same time here heart also having a door like structure that we call as a valves. This valves regulates the flow of blood in a single direction. Now we can study valves of the heart. VALVES, not WALL, VALVES, valve. First one, right atrioventricular valve. Right atrioventricular valve, it is called as a tricuspid valve. It is located at the aperture between the right auricle and the right ventricle. It has three thin triangular leaf-like structure that we call as a flaps or cusps. That's why it is called as tricuspid valve. The apex of the flaps are held in position by tendinous cords. It is called as chordae tendineae. This chordae tendineae arising from the muscular projections of the ventricle wall known as papillary muscles. Here in the ventricular region, valves having a special type of structure, that is for papillary muscles. These papillary muscles, it holds the valve, that is both tricuspid and bicuspid valve, in a fixed position, that is called as a chordae tendineae. In the right side, between the right auricle and the right ventricle, there is a valve is there. That valve is called tricuspid valve. So it has a three flap-like structure, that's why it is called as a tricuspid valve. And it helpful for the flow of blood from right auricles to right ventricle. When the blood flows from right auricles to right ventricle, then this valve will close, because this valve help for the in this valve avoid the backflow of blood from right ventricles to right auricle. So when the blood enter from auricles to right ventricle, this valve will close, because avoid the backflow of blood from right ventricles to right auricle. And this valve is present in a fixed position with the help of the chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae is nothing but it is a muscular projections of the walls of the ventricles, that is called papillary muscles. In examination they will ask the location of chordae tendineae or functions of chordae tendineae. Second valve, left atrioventricular valve, it is called as bicuspid valve. It is located in a similar way on the left side of the heart. It has two cusps or flap-like structure, so it is called as a bicuspid valve, or it is called as a mitral valve. So this valve, it has only two flap-like structure, that's why it is called as bicuspid. It is located between the aperture like left auricle and left ventricle. Between the left auricle and left ventricle, one more valve is there, that is called as a bicuspid valve. Here also when the blood flows from left auricles to left ventricle, here this valve will close because to avoid the backflow of blood from left ventricles to left auricle. Next one is pulmonary semilunar valve. This pulmonary semilunar valve are located at the opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery. So why it is called a semilunar? Because it is a half moon-like structure. That's why it is called as a semilunar. Pulmonary semilunar valve. It is located at the opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery. Between the opening of right ventricle and the pulmonary artery, we can see these semilunar valves. So here 3 half moon like structure is there. So 3 pocket like structure is there. This valve are 3 in number. 3 half moon like structure is there. So this also, when the blood flows from right ventricles to lungs, so this valve will close because to avoid the backflow of blood. Next one is aortic semilunar valves. These aortic semilunar valves are located at the point of origin of aorta from the left ventricle. These are also 3 in number and pocket shaped. Here aortic semilunar valves, it is present between the opening of the left ventricle and the aorta. It is also a half moon like structure. It has also a 3 in number. So when the blood, oxygenated blood flows from left ventricles to aorta, so this valve close because to avoid the backflow of blood from aorta to left ventricle. These valves are very important.
Our heart is a muscular organ which is protected by the rib cage. The heart is divided into 4 chambers. The 2 upper chambers of heart are called right atrium and left atrium. And the 2 lower chambers of heart are called right ventricle and left ventricle. Inferior vena cava and superior vena cava carry deoxygenated blood to the right atrium of the heart. Blood flows from the right atrium into the right ventricle through the open tricuspid valve. When the ventricles are full, the tricuspid valve shuts. Blood leaves the right ventricle through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary artery for oxygenation. The pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood to the left atrium. Blood flows from the left atrium into the left ventricle through the open mitral valve. When the ventricles are full, the mitral valve shuts. Blood leaves the left ventricle through the aortic valve into the aorta and to the body. And this is how the heart functions continuously.
In today's class, I have studied about the heart, its location, chambers, size, and what are the walls are there, and entering blood vessels, leaving blood vessels, and internal structure, and how the blood will circulate. About that, you have studied. These are very important concept, especially walls. These are very important in examination. They will also write the difference between the bicuspid and tricuspid wall, or they will give the write the exact location and functions of the mitral wall. So location and functions they will ask, and circulation of blood is also very important.